This is a VPI axanthic. So axanthic removes yellows, so it has no yellows in it. It's also a scaleless animal. What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily. Get the peacocks all over the place. And today, I'm going to be exploring the Scaleless Ball Python. That's right, I had a couple requests. One from a customer who is purchasing one from me. They want me to do a video, and you know what, I haven't done one in a while. And I love the Scaleless project. There's actually two lines of Scaleless project. One is the Scaleless head, and the super Scaleless head, or the Scalas, which I call the Brian Barczyk line, because he's the one who first produced the Scaleless animals, if you guys didn't know that. And then there's the Microscale line, which I don't know if Kevin McCurley at Nerd was the first person to get some of those Microscales in. They were missing scales in their head, and they had super little, like, mini scales on there. And no one even knew if they were even reproducible, but they are. And the super form of the Microscale is also a Scaleless animal, so it's kind of cool. So there was another line of Scaleless animal that I think that was, from what I hear, the rumors behind the closed doors, I think someone had swiped one from Brian Barczyk or a head or something like that. And so I think that Scaleless headline is the same line as the other line that's out there. So we basically have two lines. Now, are they compatible? I don't know. I tried to breed them together, and I got slugs, so I never really proved it out. I might try it again this year. But having said that, I want to show you some of the animals that I've produced, some of the cool combos that I've made, and I know there's more out there that I haven't made yet. I haven't made a pied yet, although I know there's some guys out there who I communicate with that have made pieds that look really cool. It's kind of a really interesting gene because it's something that, you know, you wouldn't want to have like 200 of those things in your collection, because they shed every single week, so they need to be kept moist a lot, and so it's a little bit of extra care. But they're kind of the animal that's so cool looking that you probably want to have a few in your collection, just so when you have friends come over, you can show people how cool they are. I like anything that's different. So for me, I love ball pythons. I love the genetics of them. So I have to have some Scaleless ball pythons in my collection. That just goes with the territory. When people come over, I got to be able to show them something that's really cool. So without further ado, let's go into the snake room and take a look. All right, we're starting off today's video with my biggest Scaleless ball python. I produced this girl back in 2019. She's a blade Scaleless. She's in shed. They're always in shed. And I'm breeding her back to her father, actually. This is a blade Scaleless head. So one copy of Scaleless. This is two copies of Scaleless with the blade, and I am trying to prove her out. I don't know if anyone who's actually bred a female Scaleless ball python and made babies or had viable eggs. I'm pretty sure that they should be no problem with that. I just don't know anyone who's done it, so I'm sure it's been done, but I am breeding her this year, like I said, to produce some more Scaleless. I tend to sell the Scaleless more so as pets. People just think they're cool pets, and I agree with them. They're really cool. You can see she's really, really kind of an interesting pattern. You can see this is really a normal. With, you know, blade is a little bit of a reduced pattern, but and you can see just how cool the snake is. Even into adulthood, she has a very unique look, and she's about to shed. Once again, she's got the blue eyes going on, gray eyes. I'm looking forward to seeing what we produce here when she does eventually lay a clutch of eggs. We got some slugs last year from her, but I think the male, I put a different male with her. I think he was too young. So this year I'm going with a tried and true proven breeder and see if we can get some viable eggs. All right, here is another line of Scaleless ball pythons. I've shown you these before. This is known as the Super Microscale line, and that's Microscale happens to be a recessive trait that in the single form you have missing scales on the head, but all the regular scales on the body, which are there intact except for the head ones, are very small, so we call it microscale. When you have 2 copies of the microscale gene, it's called a super microscale, that's what this is, and you get a scaleless animal. So you get all scales removed from this animal, and you get a little bit of stuck shed on her head, but you get this really beautiful animal. Now this animal's unique because she is also het clown. So her father was a microscale clown, so she is a super microscale het clown, and I got a couple of these for sale. I think I have 2 for sale, and I kept 1 back, and they're so beautiful. As you can see, just really, really nice. So clean. I can't even imagine, you know, not having one of these in my collection. I love. It's one of the first snakes I hand to people who come over. My son's friends, my daughter's friends. They want to see a snake. I always show them the scaleless ones because they feel so unique. Here's another female. I think this is the one I have on Morph Market. I have a customer who is about to give me a deposit on this. And these are great because these are 22, so they're a year old. They're rock solid. They eat really well. These Scalas are really good eaters, believe it or not. And you have to understand, if you're going to have a scaleless animal, they shed almost once a week. And as long as you keep it moist enough, and I've kept them on paper towels, which I thought was the key, but I've kept them now on the cocoa blocks from Freedom Breeder, and as long as you keep them damp enough, they shed no problem, you know, too. Once in a while you have to pull a little piece up, but she just had a perfect shed the other day, and you can see she's beautiful. She's also het clown, so she's super microscale, het clown. At some point, hopefully, whoever picks this up is going to produce some beautiful super microscale clowns. I actually produced my very first one this year. I'm going to show it to you in a little bit. Here is a really beautiful super microscale het clown male. So we produced a couple females and a male, and he's got a little bit of stuck shed on his face. So we'll just dampen up his cocoa blocks here, and by tomorrow he'll have that off. If not, you can always soak them. But really, really, once again, it's a beautiful, smooth. They don't even have scales on the bottom. They have, occasionally you'll catch a random scale here or there, but just really very smooth, nice texture. People, like I said, you bring people over your house, they love to hold these things. They're just really, really nice, and they feel cool. So they don't feel like normal snakes. I will leave this guy alone. Let's go look for our bonanza. Now this little gorgeous little baby is a banana microscale het clown. So this is 1 copy of microscale, and let's see if we can zoom. Maybe if I zoom it'll be easy. Yeah, you can see the scales are just these little mini, like teeny little ball-y looking scales. They're tiny. That's where the microscale name comes from. And if you look at the top of the head, you can see some missing scales on there. And that's a random thing. Some snakes have more, some have less. So this is the microscale, single copy, banana, 100% het clown. Beautiful, beautiful little girl we have here. Okay, now we're gonna show you the creme de la creme. This was from the same parents, but not the same litter, because we just got this litter this year. The last one that I just showed you, the single copy microscale, is the sister to this little boy, and he is a banana super microscale, which means he has no scales, clown. So this is a visual scaleless clown, essentially. He was teeny tiny when he was born. He's still pretty small, but he's a good eater, and seems very healthy. He's doing really well, and I have him in my special rack with all my scaleless so that I can pay a little bit more closer attention to these guys, because they do, once again, they have some shedding issues if you don't keep them damp enough. So I like to not have them out of sight, out of mind. I like to have them in my mind. Now, if you see see the black eye, that's your, that's clown all the way. You know, clowns have dark eyes usually. And just a beautiful little body. He's about to shed. When he sheds, you'll see he has a lot more color normally, a lot more purples. He's a little dark right now because of the fact that he is in shed. But just like really kind of cool. Look at his face. Look at the way the face is. It looks like, for some reason, when you don't have the scales in there, things just pop more. And it looks like someone took like a magic marker, literally, and just marked up his body and just made that cool pattern. So we'll leave him alone. And we're gonna look at another spectacular scaleless animal. All right, now this is one of the coolest also scaleless animals. This is not from the Microscale line. This is the Scaleless headline, or the Brian Barczyk line, a lot of people call it. But as you can see, this is like much, much lighter looking. This is a VPI axanthic. So axanthic removes yellows, so it has no yellows in it. It's also a scaleless animal, which is 2 copies of the scaleless head gene. So you get a super scaleless, essentially, or scaleless, I just call it. It's also 50% het clown and 50% het hypo. So it could prove out to be either of those. But this is a different line of the scaleless animals. This animal is really, really clean looking because of that VPI axanthic gene in here. And he just keeps getting nicer. And this is a female, actually. She just keeps getting nicer and nicer. Let's see if we can get her out of here for a second. Look at that. Look at how clean that is. That is a beautiful animal. Look at those black eyes. She's just gotten, she was tiny when she was born too. She's just gotten better and better as she's continued to grow. And once again, they're all good eaters. It's amazing. They really are not, you would think that without scales that they would be very petite, very delicate. They're not. There's no, I don't see any differences in their behavior from a regular, aside from the fact that they shed more frequently. Once again, I don't know if I would want 100 of these things, although, you know, sometimes you get a lot of them when you start breeding them, but I love having a few of these. These are just, it's like, if I didn't have any in my collection, I would just buy one just to say I have one scaleless ball python, especially if I'm a ball python breeder. You got to have at least one of these things in your collection. They're just so cool, you know, especially if you're showing your friends all the different morphs in ball pythons. Beautiful. There's my cover shot right there. And we'll wrap up today. I want to be quiet because this girl got a little upset. This is my GHI Mojave Microscale. So single copy Microscale. See the scale, missing scales on the head and the little teeny little scales here. She's het clown. She's the sister to the mother that produced that banana clown scale, like super Microscale. And she's being bred right there by her father. That's the Microscale clown, single copy. And look, they're locked. Very cool. Hopefully we can get some GHI Mojave clown super Microscales. You imagine that, what those will look like? How cool, especially something that dark. I can't wait to see. That will be just incredible. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on this breeding. I thought we would get something this year, but it wasn't going to happen, or it didn't happen. But now we got some action, locking action. So come on, big girl, give us some really good eggs this year. Here's our banana Mojave. I think it's Mojave. Microscale, het clown, female, that produced that beautiful, beautiful banana clown super Microscale. So she's gonna get a couple more months off before we put her back in the breeding program, but she will go in again this year, assuming she's eating. It looks like she's eating according to our tag, and hopefully we'll get another clutch from her. I produced these two sisters, when was this? I produced these two sisters in the year 2020, so they're about 3.5 years old now, and that's usually what it takes. She produced at 2.5 years. She had her clutch. There was only 4 eggs or 3 eggs, 2 only went to completion. The ones I showed you those 2, and we just got lucky. We hit a banana clown super microscale. But her sister, looks like she's going to go this year, hopefully, is 3.5, which is usually par for the course. So hopefully we can get her to go again this year as well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today here at Palumbo's Pythons and Boas. It was all about scaleless ball pythons. And you know what? The creme de la creme still is my banana clown super microscale, or essentially scaleless animal. He is just super cool. I love him. He was a little runt of the litter. He popped out of a little booby egg. I mean, there was probably this much egg that this thing crawled out of it. It was teeny tiny. I said, oh, I hope this thing lives. It was the first time I had produced a clown. It was a banana clown at that. And I don't even know if anyone's ever even produced a banana clown scaleless. I really don't know. And so I said, I hope it lives. And so far it's been doing well. It's eating well. And so it's putting on a nice size. Obviously the VPI axanthid scaleless is off the charts as well. I love them. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I do have a bunch for sale. I don't know if they're all listed. If you're interested in picking up one, whether it be a pet or for breeding projects, let me know. You know what to do, guys. Show us the love. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. Hit that like button. I'll see you back tomorrow morning.